Hey up troops, A Littleton here again with another video, and we're back from the Manchester Major. I'm a little bit delicate, but it's an important day. The Year 9 Season 2 patch notes have just dropped, so let's have a look at it, go through them, and go through one of the changes which wasn't in the reveal video, but I think is potentially the biggest change this season. Let's dive straight into it, all in one take. Let's have a look. I've got to look over here to change it. Boom, there we go. Right, so Year 9 Season 2 designers notes. We've got the balancing matrix first, so let's have a look. Let's pause that there. Let's have a look at ranked PC. Ash is outrageously high at the moment. We've got Buck, Dokkaebi, and Ace. I don't think that's a surprise. I'm kind of surprised there with how often you see a Dokkaebi banned, to be honest with you. Let me just pause the one below as well. So yeah, Ash being played a lot. Who's not played a lot? Sense. Osa down there, surprising. Yeah, I feel like you don't see that much Osa these days. I wonder why that is, because she's still a really, really good op. Jackal down there as well. Win percentage low for Jackal, really, because that is strange as well. Why is Jackal's win percentage so low? Because he's a good operator who gets banned a lot because he's strong. So why is the win percentage low? I don't know. But what is good is there's not many outliers. Obviously, these guys are outliers over here, but a lot of the operators are bundled in this area here, which means everything at the minute is fairly well balanced to an extent. I don't know why Nox win rate is like higher than a lot of other operators. I don't know. Like Nox being up there and Jackal being down there is really surprising. But anyway, that's PC. Let's just swap this over to console. Ranked console. Here we go. So you can see the similar sort of attackers are still in a similar-ish sort of area. We've still got Ash, Ace, Buck. Dokkaebi's a little bit further down. Again, we've got a good cluster of operators here, which is good to see. Like I said, that means it's balanced. Deimos win rate's down. What was Deimos on PC? He's down here. But it's interesting. I think that's probably one of the graphs that we've seen where everything's close together for console and PC. I don't think it's not a million miles apart. Monty, where's Monty there? I'm just looking. Monty on console was higher. He's up here. Monty's there on PC. I thought he'd be a little bit higher this season. And then we've got defenders. A bit more of a spread on defenders. Like you can see the cluster of attackers quite sort of tight there. Defenders spread out a lot more on PC. And oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So I've not seen any of this yet, by the way. I know about some of the patch notes, but I've not seen these graphs. Yeah, that's a concern, I think. The whole point of balancing is ideally you get everything clustered up like on PC here. Like a lot. This looks good, apart from the outliers. But that on defenders on PC is defenders on console. That's kind of wild. Mad that Wamai is the most picked operator on. Where's Wamai on PC? Down here. Do you reckon that's just because of the MP5 and the ACOG? So yeah, you're actually thinking about this. ACOG. Well, my ACOG, Malusi ACOG, Doc ACOG. What we say on PC? ACOG. Potentially ACOG if you play the shotgun. Yeah, not so much on PC, but on console, 3 ACOG operators way ahead of the rest. I wonder if that must be why, surely. Interesting. I always like seeing that data at the end of a season. Pause these two again. Ban operators for PC. Dokkaebi, Jackal, Thatcher. No surprises there. The Monty and Blitz creeping in after the shield change. Console. Jackal's banned way more on console. Jackal, Dokkaebi, Thatcher, Ying up there. I remember seeing that on old graphs that Fuse always used to be up there as well. And the Ace ban. Interesting. It's so interesting to me how different the game is across PC and console. And then on defenders, Fenrir, nearly an 82% ban rate for Fenrir on PC. Which is crazy. I ban Solis personally. I'd rather play against a Fenrir than a Solis. Capcan a bit. Oh yeah, what's the Capcan console defensive? Capcan's, that's mad to me as well. So Fenrir and Capcan, mirror Solis. Fenrir, Capcan, mirror Solis. Well, clash. Cade ban on console is higher. Okay, interesting. Message from the team. Like I say, I haven't read this official document. I just know about some of the changes. As observed in the balancing matrix, there's been a significant increase in the presence of certain operators. However, despite this shift, their performance statistics do not raise any immediate concerns. Consequently, we decided not to make any adjustments to the site's distribution in this patch. I thought Echo might get an ACOG, so that's interesting. I need to stop saying interesting. It's essential to recognise that the graphs reflect only a small segment of the ranked player base. Below those ranks in the broader player community, the presence of these operators is considerably lower. Yeah, because bear in mind, by the way, on all these graphs, it's Emerald and above. The presence was high at the beginning of the season, gradually declined. Okay, so everyone was a bit excited to... Well, that's just saying everyone was a bit excited to use ACOGs, and it sort of petered off a little bit. This downward trend suggests these operator choices are driven more by novelty than... Yeah, I mean, I've just said that, all right. We observed similar patterns during the 1.5 era. By the way, this game is so much better now that 1.5 doesn't exist anymore. And we believe maintaining the current distribution throughout the entire season won't compromise overall balance. I agree. Additionally, prematurely removing these operators... Such a shift might adversely impact the balance of other operators that have not received such attention or currently in a good position. Hasty removal would not allow sufficient time to thoroughly evaluate all the pros and cons of the new sites, especially considering the nostalgia and novelty are influencing decisions. I agree. Almost entirely there, actually. Sorry, I've just got to change something on the recording PC because something isn't. There we go. Yeah, I agree entirely. I think I've knocked my camera at some point. In fact, you know what? Mid-video. Let's bring that back. That should be like that somewhere. There we go. Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of people played Doc and Malusi and Wamai. Obviously, you can see that on console. No, wait, where am I? Console up here because of the ACOG. Who else has got an ACOG that's lower? Frost has an ACOG, right? No one... Who else has an ACOG on defense? If you think about the ACS 12, maybe. Remember when Thorn had ACOG on the test server? Yeah, so that might be a problem on console. But you have to balance the game across console and PC. It's tough to do. Interesting. Stop saying interesting. Right, Striker. So if you don't know, Striker and Sentry are the two new operators coming this season. They're essentially, well, no, it's not essentially, they are reworked recruits. We recognise the delicate position of the recruit operator. While we've always wanted them to be playable and enjoyable in serious matches without being a meme. Can't believe we've seen the word meme in official Siege patch notes. Their potential had to be carefully managed due to the ability to have multiple recruits on the same team. Yeah, agreed. So, by the way, I don't know if this mentions it later on, but you can't have multiple sentries or strikers on the same team. Additional recruits served as a safeguard for various systems, which meant that the remastering also required updating those systems. Our goal is to ensure that players have meaningful choices, the same we did with the new weapon attachments. We want to make every gameplay option viable and interesting. Therefore, we've decided to make the remastered recruits available in all playlists. However, only one can be selected per team. Similar to any other operator, we've updated their 3D models, which, by the way, from R6 Mobile, if you didn't know, are fully customizable. They remain excellent options for see. I don't think I need to read all of this. This is like saying we're glad them back. The secondary gadget is getting split, which we'll come on to in a minute. This approach means whenever we introduce a new secondary gadget, one of them will receive a buff and expand its attack. Yeah, that is true. So balancing the new recruits is going to be tough because, like they've just said there, if they introduce a new secondary gadget for defense, which is a mini ADS that can capture one projectile and then it blows up, the recruit would be able to have that gadget as well. So, yeah, it would need balancing that way. This is interesting. Stop saying interesting. Striker in particular stands out as a versatile support and attack. You can assist Thermite with an impact EMP and then go and use hard breach charges yourself to open hatches, which is mad. Alternatively, protect the teammates by possessing claymores, blocking flanks, and smoke grenades to block lines of sight, or even take on the entry role with frag grenades and stun grenades. Yeah, frags and stuns is going to be wild. It's going to be interesting to see how these get played. Excuse me. Base stats. They're both a 2-2. They're 2 speed, 2 armor. They have 2 secondary gadgets, by the way. So, in case you've probably seen other videos already, but the attacker has the M4, which is what Mav's gun is, and then the M249, the LMG. Secondary weapons are the 5.7 and the ITA-12, which is the shotgun that Mirror has, and Ram, and Frost, I think, and Jackal. A few people have that. Sentry is the defender side recruit. Sentry serves as the defensive counterpart to Striker. Their primary objective is to assist in site setup. If you require additional intel, bulletproof camera proximity alarms. Excuse me. Still recovering from the major. And for enhanced map control, opting for a deployable shield and barbed wire would be more ideal. Oh, really? Barbed wire, and this is one of the things we're going to talk about. Still a 2-2 for the defender. Equips 2 gadgets instead of a gadget and ability. Can select the defensive gadget on the team, but not the same one twice. So you could have, I mean, I'm going to make a video when the test server comes out, which is either going to be tonight or tomorrow, about the possibilities of what you can do with 2 secondary gadgets when you start mixing them. And the one that stands out for me is a prox mine and a C4, because you can put a prox mine down, you can pre-place a C4, and when you hear that prox go, you detonate your C4. Wait, everyone's talking about the attacker ability to have impact EMPs and hard breach charges. Well, prox mine and a C4 sounds crazy to me. The defender weapons are the Commando 9, which is what Mozzie has. I wonder if Recruit will have the same reload animation. I haven't tried that yet. The M870, which is Bandit shotgun, Bandit Jaeger shotgun. And then the C75 auto, which is the pistol that Thorn and Dockerby has. And then the Super Shorty. So, Fenrir nerf. Our main goal was to provide attackers with additional methods and support and opportunities to effectively handle the deployed mines. Intention is to create an environment where the attackers feel less overwhelmed by Fenrir's presence. Blah, 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 blah. This is what we need. So, Fenrir, as of Year 9 Season 2, which starts on the 11th of June, I think it said yesterday, they'll have 4 FNAT mines maximum instead of 5. They'll be able to activate 2 FNAT mines instead of 3. So, lost one on both fronts there. So, only 2 FNATs can be activated anywhere on the map at any point. And this is important as well. An inactive mine is no longer bulletproof. So if Fenrir doesn't activate that FNAT, you know when like it opens up? So if it stays closed, you couldn't destroy them unless you had explosives, Gon 6, Ash Charge, Frag Grenade, whatever. Now you can just shoot them. So placement of Fenrir FNATs is now way more important. This is an interesting point as well. Tickets are no longer lost when an active mine is destroyed. So if when we used to have 5 Fenrir mines, and you could activate 3 of them. If one of those 3 active mines got destroyed, you could only then activate 2. You couldn't activate one of the ones that weren't yet open. That's not the case anymore. So if you lose one of those FNATs, you can activate another one instead. You couldn't do that before. So these 3 points here are a massive nerf. This is a little bit of a buff. Disabling a mine automatically gets its ticket removed. They will return to Fenrir's inventory. Yeah, we know that. Loadouts, they've removed barbed wire from Fenrir, which is a good decision because having barbed wire and an FNAT mine was a ridiculous idea. You're already obscured and blurred and in trouble when you're in an FNAT. You don't need to be walking through barbed wire as well. And that's also important when we come to barbed wire, which I assume are in these patch notes. Solis. Solis, we have 2 primary objectives. First, we would like to reduce Solis' pressure over the attacking drones, specifically during the prep phase. Yeah, I completely agree. Losing 4 or 5 drones, 3, 4 drones in the prep phase was a shambles. Second, we would like to increase the amount of players' attention on the Spec IO resource. So what they basically mean is you used to be able to have Solis' scanner on for so long, and you wouldn't, you could leave on for like 30 seconds, was it, or something like that? Maybe a bit less, maybe 20 seconds. Like 20 seconds running around a map is a long time. You could see everything. So they're going to reduce that. Again, all of that just basically says what they're doing. So in short, and I'll just come down to the summary, the Spec IO goggles can't be used in the prep phase, which is a good change. The duration is reduced to 10 seconds from 20. It needs to fully recharge before you use it again. So what happened before is you only had to wait for it to charge halfway up before you could use the goggles again. And now you've got to wait for it to go back all the way up. The detection range reduced to 12 meters from 15, which again, I think they're all good changes. Do you think Solis still gets played? That's the question. I think Solis still does get played because as a roamer during the action phase, when people are trying to drone you out, being able to just know where those drones are is insane still. So it kind of makes her a bit useless in the prep phase, though. Because normally Solis sort of sets off on, looking for drones. Whereas now, I suppose, that's how Solis runs, by the way. Whereas now, I suppose, Solis helps out with site setup. By the way, one thing I noticed at the major is most pro teams were running Solis shotgun because of the SMG11, and they were helping out with the side setup. This is cool as well. No more impacts, and that does affect Solis. So, oh, by the way, barbed wire is mentioned, which is good. Secondary gadgets, so added prox mine, removed impact grenades. This is makes it more difficult to deny the plant at the end of the round, but this makes her a more efficient roamer. Because you can watch your own flanks as such. You can put prox mines on stairs, ignore that part of the map until you hear that prox mine go off. But impact late in the round from Solis will be less now, which is a good thing, because it used to just be if Solis was downstairs, you couldn't plant and you had to stand on something. Deimos. Since it's released, Deimos has had relatively low pick and win rates. I think I see Deimos quite a bit. While we believe the primary reason for this is his more advanced playstyle, we would like to explore ways to make him a little more comfortable to play. By adding grip options to the AK-74, we'll make the weapon slightly more valuable for more aggressive support playstyle. However, we'll be monitoring his change carefully to make sure the focus runs taking full advantage of death marks and vendetta. So they've added the vert, angled, and horizontal grips. If I'm honest, I didn't know that Deimos couldn't have a grip on his AK. If I'm honest, I didn't know that. But fine. Now then, the biggest change, or potentially the biggest change of the season, which for some reason wasn't in the reveal video, is barbed wire. How's barbed wire changing? I'm glad you asked. Our primary goal is to enhance the effectiveness of barbed wire while increasing the risk of not dealing with it on time. We aim to make it more reliable to defenders. It should no longer be an easily bypassed obstacle for attackers, which, let's be honest, at the moment it is. Instead of routinely passing through barbed wire, we want it to serve as a last resort option, as in going through it as the last resort. Attackers should carefully consider their approach before attempting to cross. The barbed wire now inflicts 5 HP per second to any attacker moving through it. This isn't a substantial amount. It should encourage attackers to respect its presence. Importantly, the damage only occurs while the operator is actively moving within the wire. This means that they can still enter and hold an angle without taking damage. Defenders should now rely on their hearing to detect attackers moving through the wire. The operator's vocal reaction upon receiving damage reinforces the urgency of this situation and makes it more reliable. The feedback loop ensures that defenders can respond promptly. While we are not modifying the distribution of barbed wire among defenders, we will closely monitor its impact. If necessary, we may adjust loadouts in the future. So, base stats. It now deals 5 HP per second when you're walking through it. It takes around 2 to 3 seconds, depending on the angle that you enter it in, to get through barbed wire. So you're going to take somewhere between 10 and 15 damage, roughly. As it said there, if you walk into it, you take 5 damage. If you then stand still and stay in the barbed wire, you don't carry on taking damage. It's a little bit like going through gridlocks, spikes. A little bit like that. The only thing that I know about this is the noise that attacker operators make when they go through the barbed wire is loud. So I guess that's why it says here the stiffness is increased, because it mentions the sound here. Attackers should now rely on their hearing to detect attackers moving through barbed wire. So not the barbed wire noise. You know, you used to move barbed wire, it used to do like shh, you know, make that little noise. That was a good impression, right? Well, now attackers go through it and they literally go as they walk through it. Like it's quite loud. So that's what you've got to listen for now if you're playing barbed wire. I think it's a good change because barbed wire is a joke, to be honest, at the minute. I walk through barbed wire all the time rather than punching it because it's often quieter than getting rid of the barbed wire. So all of a sudden now, defenders with barbed wire, I think, have had a massive buff there because that whole flank on the stair is protected by the barbed wire. And I always used to take prox mines with operators because I didn't want to take it. So, for example, I would always play Wamai with proxies rather than Jaeger barbed wire. Whereas now, I might go back to Jaeger barbed wire. But that wasn't mentioned in the reveal. Excuse me. But I feel like that is probably the biggest change other than Recruit, obviously. Or not Recruit, Sentry and Sentinel. Yeah, but that change is absolutely massive. And an interesting one is the rank distribution across PC and across console. It just sticks that in at the end. I'm not sure why it should. I don't think we normally have this, do we, at the end? But let's have a quick look. always interesting to me that you see that the Plat 5, Emerald 5, Diamond 5 has always got more players in because people tend to hit that rank and then stop playing. Like if you wanted to make sure you hit Diamond this season, people, or Emerald for example, people tend to hit Emerald and then just stop playing. So then it goes like down, 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 but then up again. So like more people are Emerald 5 than they are Plat 1 because people hit Emerald and they don't want to play any more games and lose any more elo. You can see this difference there between Gold and Plat. Sorry for coughing. Like I say, look, it's been a big 5 days. So if you play in Diamond 1, you're in the top 1.2% of players. If you play in Diamond 2, which is where I am at the minute, I'm in the top 1.6% of players. Bear in mind, you've got to add up all of the ranks after yours as well. You know, Diamond Emerald 3 is 1.2%, but you've also got the players above you as well, so you've got to add all that up. I think there's more players here, or I feel like there's more players here than this suggests, but obviously not. And they're not making it up, or at least I don't think they are. And then we've got console. So what is it? 0.6, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.40. So it's about the similar sort of numbers, really, isn't it? 0.8, 1, 1.2, 0.8, 1, 1. Yeah, it's pretty much the same numbers from console to PC, which is cool. Membership. I'm going to talk about that and probably in another video and tell you why it's a necessary evil. But I'm going to save that for another video. That's it. Patch notes, Year 9 Season 2, everything that's coming, everything that's changing. The biggest thing for me, yes, obviously Recruit coming back, but this is huge. And like I said, I don't know why it wasn't mentioned in the reveal video. Let me just say one more time, although I don't think I've said it yet, actually. So when I say one more time, what I actually mean is let me say this for the first time. If I met you at the weekend, I met so many people that came up and said hello and said that they're grateful for the videos and they like the videos, which is obviously insane. Like, I just have a fairly normal corporate job in the day. So spending a weekend with people, like, signing things, taking photos and stuff is insane to me. So thank you very much for the hospitality and kindness shown over the weekend. I had a bloody good weekend, and if you were there, I hope you did too as well. Year 9 Season 2 is around the corner. Admittedly, I feel there is less content this season than there is in other seasons, but it's still going to be a fun season. The way that Recruit's going to work, or Sentry Sentinel's going to work, almost as like a sort of one-man army is going to be interesting. And like I say, barbed wire change is fun as well. I'll see you next time. Cheers!